To my market wrap for Tuesday, December 20th, 2016. 20,000? No. We were 13 points shy at the intraday high. Oh, it was just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Um, just shy. It seems like they don't want to cross the threshold. I got a feeling for those of you CNBC watchers out there, you're gonna see it happen on Squawk Box, as it always did. Back in the mid '90s, every time we would cross the millennium mark, it would happen on Squawk Box. So let's see tomorrow. I mean, it's nothing but more than a number, but it is nice to see, actually, from the sake of history's sake. And we crossed 10,000 in 1999. Could you believe it? It took this long to go 10,000 points. But hey, again, it's a sign of market growth and other things like that. But economic growth and economic declines, it takes a while to cross, um, 10,000 points. But what's interesting, if you look at the underlying technicals of the market, it is simply just overextended and overbought. Okay. I mean, if we weren't right there, it wouldn't be such a big deal to see a pullback of 5 or 10%, which I think should happen and will happen come the new year. Because it's just looking at the relative strength, it's stretched out. Looking at the stochastics, they're around 80 to 100, which is overbought. There's just too much going on. We need to take a breath. And, you know, it just is what it is. It just has to come back. It has to come down a little bit before, it's like you go up, 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 and then you go sideways. You go down a little bit, up, 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 like stairs. That's what it has to do. And it's natural. It's normal. Kind of like we're taking the froth out of the top. So I think that personally, we will break 20,000, and it'll be tomorrow morning, and then we'll pull back. Maybe we'll go 20,100, 20,200, and then you'll see a 5 or 10% pullback in the market, which is healthy. Which is healthy. I mean, you're seeing these stocks hit multiples that haven't been seen since the 20s or the 50s. So, you get to see a little history come in. It was quite interesting. I was watching a video on, years ago that the History Channel made the Modern Marvels thing about the stock market. And I was particularly paying attention to the 20s and the great crash, in 29. What led up to it? Well, a lot of the same things that caused the economic crisis in 2008 led up to this. The crisis as well. Easy money, easy credit. Um, Simply put, history does repeat itself. If you know what to look for, you can make a hell of a lot of money. History is your crystal ball. Start paying attention to that. Look at those events. Study them. What caused them. Try to find what else is similar to today in those events and times. Anyway, let's get on to the market action today, shall we? Okay, let's get into it. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed up 91.56 points to 19,974.62, up 0.46%. The Nasdaq Composite closed up 26.5 points to 5483.94, or up 0.49%. The broad-based S&P 500 index closed up 8.23 points to 2270.76. Let me preface this and say the Dow and Nasdaq eclipsed new record highs, while the S&P is 1 point short. Record high for the S&P is 2271.76. So just about there. Small cap Russell 2000, 8 points shy of its record, 1393.96, up 12.27 or up 0.89%. Looking at other indices today, the S&P one or the Nasdaq 100, triple Qs, closed up 18.96 points to 49.5380 or 0.38%. The S&P Midcap 400 index closed at 1687.03, up 9.11 points or 0.54%. The S&P Small Cap index closed up 8.83 points to 854.67 or 1.04%. The NYSE Composite Index closed up 43.66 points to 11,172.20 or 0.39%. Looking at the XAU, the Gold and Silver Index, up 0.29 points to 73.81 or up 0.39%. Looking at the SOX Index, the semiconductors closed up 8.31 points to 917.99 or up 0.91%. This is very interesting. I really haven't paid much attention to, stocks like Nvidia, but they're up 200-300% in the past few months. That's gangbusters. And what fueled that rally? It could be gaming, because those of you who know what Nvidia does, they do graphics cards, graphics chips for computers. Okay, just to be the GeForce cards, things like that for the computer side of things. And they've been going gangbusters, but I think what's really fueling it is not so much mobile and computers as it is virtual reality and the power needed for that. I think that's really cool. Finishing up with the indices, the CBOE volatility or the VIX index was down 0.31 points to 11.40, down 2.65%. Looking at market internals today, volume was average. Total share volume on the New York Stock Exchange, 3.28 billion shares traded, of which 2.26 billion was advancing, 964 million was declining, and 57 million were unchanged. Looking at the Nasdaq Composite, or the Nasdaq stock market, total share volume, 1.66 billion traded, of which 1.049 billion were advancing, 575 million were declining, and 37 million was unchanged. Looking at the NYSE market, or AMEX, 109 million shares total traded volume, of which 51 million was advancing, 50.8 million was declining, so almost lockstep in volume, and 7 million was unchanged. Mind you guys, these are not exact numbers, they're rounded, because if I were to tell you the whole thing, my head would explode. Looking at market breadth, the advanced decline line, 1,009 on the New York Stock Exchange, 1,942 issues were advancing, 1,076 issues were declining, and 118 issues were unchanged. Looking at the Nasdaq stock market, 1,865 issues were advancing, 995 were declining, and 151 issues were unchanged. On the two primary markets, it's just about 2-to-1 advancers over decliners. And that could be useful to see which way the market goes during the day. If you see volume rising, but yet the indices aren't, it could be a sign of something more buying to come. It's something to pay attention to. Is the market breadth of the advanced decline line, and it changes all through the day. Let's finish up with the market breadth. The NYSE market, or AMEX, 171 issues were advancing, 140 were declining, and 21 were unchanged. Let's take a look at the currencies and commodities today. Starting off in the currencies, all you versus the US dollar, the euro 1.0390, down 0.0013. The Japanese yen 117.82, up 0.73. And my favorite currency, the English pound, 1.2363. down 0.0032. Australian dollar 0.7258, up 0.0014. Swiss franc 1.0287, up 0.0016. Going on to the commodities, selected commodities. West Texas Intermediate crude up 10 cents per barrel to 52.22, up 0.19%. Brent North Sea crude, $55.40, up 48 cents a barrel, or up 0.82%. And it just ticked. I'll give you an updated price on that because it trades 55.37, up 45 cents for Brent North Sea crude, up 0.82% at this juncture. How many of you know the difference between WTI and Brent? Based on what I was taught and told, WTI is more of the crude oil that is used for, could be used for gas, more so for plastics, products that require petroleum bases, and Brent North Sea crude. And this is simply put, by the way, this is not a detailed explanation by no means, but Brent North Sea is the one that's primarily used for gasoline because it's a little bit lighter, I think, from what I was told, than West Texas Intermediate. They're both what they call light sweet crudes, but I think the Brent is just a little bit more better useful for gas. You get more of a yield as you're refining it, and that's what I was taught from one of my commodity guys. Let's get into the price of gold. These are per troy ounce. Gold, $1133.50, down $9.20, or down 0.81%. Price of silver, $16.10.5, we'll say, 16.105, up 0.0016 cents, so just about a penny, a little bit more than a penny and a half, or up 0.10%. Let's take a look at equity index futures. This is getting a little interesting on Globex right now. Dow Jones futures up 58 points to 19,895, or up 0.29%. S&P 500 futures 2266.50, up 6.5, or up 0.29%. Now, I want to explain a concept of what we call fair value. Fair value, in the morning, when you look at that implied open, okay, if you look at the Dow closing at 19,974.62, and the future is at 19,895, I'm sorry, it was a little blurry there. That discrepancy in price is going to tell you where the market's going to open tomorrow. That's called fair value. Look it up. I want you guys to do your own research and see these things, because that's what will tell you where the market's going to open. Now, I think it's going to open higher because the future is lower than the cash, so they got to bring it up. Okay, this is where they're going to push to 20,000. This is interesting. And I want to finish up with one more read. The 10-year bond down 4/32 of a point. Yield to maturity up to 2.559%. Yeah, it's just been a really, 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 it's like saying like the market's constipated, but yet it's not. But it just can't make that final push. It's almost there. And it'll get there. But expect a pullback after the new year. Kind of like buy the rumor, sell the news. Anyway, guys, I want to wish everybody a wonderful evening. And I hope this video was of use to you. If you like it, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I post these videos on a nightly basis right after the close to get you the most relevant information as quickly as possible to help you. Also, I'm doing other educational videos. If you're unsure about some of this terminology, it's progressing slowly, and I can help you, but I encourage you, excuse the helicopter, I guess somebody's looking for me. I encourage you to do your own research, to find out terminology, and if you're unsure always put it in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks everybody for watching, and please support me on Patreon. Link will be in the description. And I want to close and just say, never be afraid to reach for your dream. This is my dream, to help you guys out. There's always a way. You just got to find a way to do it. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.